Hello, the world. Squirrels here from the R&D, and hey, Hellfire. I wanted to be like, yo, I got like 5 seconds. Let me hurry up and just say hey. So, hey, Hellfire. Thanks for swinging in. Thank you so much for the 250 bits. You are awesome, dude. And have fun playing Pokemon Go again. I thought about it myself personally. Have fun biking and getting into shape. That's awesome. Great cardio. Go hunt them Pokemons. Get some sleep, man. Thanks for swinging by. Always a pleasure to have you in chat, dude. Well, everyone, it has been 2 weeks. 2 stinking weeks. It's been a while. I am really sorry that it's been that long. That wasn't an intentional 2 week hiatus. Yeah, definitely not an intentional 2 week hiatus. So again, apologies for that. I've just been really busy with work. 2 weeks ago, or not last week, but the week prior, where was I? I was in DC, I think, all week, and then last week I was in Orlando all week. So, yeah, we're doing something a little bit different today. First off, it is the first stream of a brand new month. So I do want to recognize this week. I'm going to recognize all of the subs, resubs, and brand new follows for the month of July. And that is going to happen on the first Friday stream of a new month. Oh, okay, I was like, who is? Some people angry on Twitter, yo. The first Friday stream of a new month, I'm going to take time and give shout outs to all of the new follows for the previous month and any subs and resubs for the entire last month. So stay tuned for that this coming Friday. We're going to do some follower and sub appreciation as we are starting to do each passing month. Anyway, so with that, today is a new kind of stream. I've done YouTube videos with close-up magic-y stuff, and I've done actually my first YouTube video ever regarding magic was a review, a compare and contrast review of two particular magic gimmicks, and I just did it because I look at a lot of magic videos on YouTube randomly and sporadically, and I had seen that those particular two magic gimmicks, albeit were used for similar use cases, were not yet compared to each other. They were the Venom and the Tarantula 2. The Venom and the Tarantula 2. So if you know anything about magic, then you probably know what those are. But that said, I had seen reviews of the Tarantula 2. I had seen reviews of Venom, albeit few and far between. But I had not yet seen, now granted at the time, Venom and Tarantula 2 were both brand new. But I hadn't seen a compare and contrast video, so I decided to do my own compare and contrast video, put it on the R&D YouTube channel, which at the time I don't think was yet called the R&D, although it might have been. I don't think it was. I don't know. It would have been close. I think it was right before we changed it to the R&D. It was still Wolf and Skwirls at the time. Shout out to that time. But when we did that video, literally within a week, it had like over 1,000 hits, and I was like, okay. And like 1,000 in a week doesn't sound like a whole heck of a lot for, an awesomely large YouTube channel. But for a YouTube channel where we got like 5 hits total on any one of our videos, to go from 5 lifetime hits on a single video to 1,000 in 7 days, and still to this day progressively increasing in views and randomly getting new comments that I got to keep paying attention to, like, that was a big deal for us. So I was like, I guess there's a market for doing magic tricks on YouTube. So I started doing a few magic tricks on YouTube, but I didn't do too many. I only did a few things because I I don't do a lot of magic like IRL. Like in real life, I don't do a ton of magic. I do things for work when I'm on business trips from time to time, and all pretty much all of the magic that I do is for work. The only recreational or for friends or side magic stuff that I do is very, 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 very few and far between, and it's really just for friends and family. So, how's life treating you? Life's not bad. Life's not bad. Hey, Bit, the dangly Bit. How you doing? How you doing? Good morning. Hopefully you're having a great Monday morning or whatever time zone you happen to be in. Thanks for swinging by. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, life's not too bad. Life's not too bad. Just kind of mentioning a little bit of my magic life, which there isn't much of a magic life. So I only did a handful of those music YouTube videos before realizing, before realizing maybe I needed more magic content. It's like 4 a.m. here. Magicians are pretty rad. Thanks, thanks. Um, 4 a.m. there, so it's 4:52 here. So I'm assuming you're an hour behind me in Central Time. Yeah, it's pretty early for you. um, so what we're going to do, this is my first ever time doing a magic stream. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys some of the routines that I do on a regular basis, hopefully without flashing too much, because if I'm 100% honest with you guys, it's been a little while since I've done a ton of magic tricks. But I've been meaning to get back into it, so I'm going to show you guys a little bit of what I do when I'm at trade shows or when I'm on a business trip or at a restaurant trying to get a free dessert or whatever. And I'll show you a little bit of what I've been doing lately. And if you guys have questions or want to see how to do something that how I like to do something to mask something or whatever, then by all means, I will show you stuff that I feel comfortable showing you. That I know that didn't cost a fortune to get, because if a magic trick legitimately is still on sale for a decent amount of money, then that's kind of rude for someone that knows the secret to give it away, right? I'm willing to give away some secrets that you can either find on YouTube already or whatnot. Hey, Mr. Poop. Good morning, man. How you doing? But then we're gonna transition. So section one or segment one of Magic Mondays. And by the way, Magic Mondays are going to start being the first Monday of every month. So the first Monday of every month, I'm gonna show you some. We're gonna dive into some close-up magic stuff. So the first Monday of every month, Magic Mondays, segment one. Which reminds me, I didn't actually do a Magic Monday command. I put it in my title like it's a command, but I didn't actually make it yet. Segment one will be me showing you guys what I've been up to in the world of magic lately. And then segment two, the latter half, is going to be us diving into what other people are doing in the world of magic right now, and maybe even what you guys are doing in the world of magic if it gets to that. So, let me take a sip of my coffee. And before we dive in too much further here, I do want to mention the Golden Acorn for this week. The Golden Acorn for this week comes from Aaron Hansen. Aaron Hansen, who is quoted as saying, "And you ask, what if I fall? Oh, but my darling, what if you fly?" You ask, what if I fall? But what if you fly? This is hopefully an encouragement to you guys. I know it's an encouragement to me and my family as well, but hopefully it's an encouragement to you guys today and the rest of this week. Just basically saying it's good to take chances. It's important to take chances. Don't ask yourself the risks so much as ask yourself the potential, right? If you're looking to do something but you're scared of what might happen as a negative effect, ask yourself what could happen in a positive respect. Hopefully, again, that can encourage you guys as the Golden Acorn this week before we get into the rest of the stream here. I know Zero Magic, but I've always wanted to learn and didn't really know where to start. Oh, really? Well, nice, Dangly, nice. Well, maybe we can show you a little bit of stuff today. I'm definitely more than willing to show you guys at least one trick. It's super easy. You can definitely find it online for free. But I'll show you some of my gotchas when I perform the trick, and I'll tell you why I like this trick so much and love to share it with people. I know the magic of running from my parents, but I always get caught. Well, I'm gonna say I definitely, certainly do not condone running from parents. Um, but if you're in a rough environment, then I definitely encourage you to tell somebody. That's for sure. I mean, I did like little magic shows when I was a kid for my parents, but it was like the rubber pencil and glass of water in front of an arrow type of magic. Yeah. I got you. I got you. Well, with that, folks, let's change scenes here real quick. Where is it? This one? Okay. So, hopefully, so this is a brand new overlay for me. I haven't used this overlay yet, so hopefully everything works. And it doesn't look like the golden acorn is actually working. Hang on. Let me grab that. Text. Golden acorn, go. Grab you. No, not you. Grab you. Dang. I keep missing. Doesn't want to grab it. There we go. Grab you. Put you right there. Shrink you down. There we go. There we go. And chat seems to be working decently enough. Okay, cool. Good morning, Bug Eyes. Good morning, Bug Eyes. Who else is out there lurking? We've got the typicals. We've got Commander Root and Slow Cool and NetDev. And we've also got Rob Unplanned out there. So thank you to the lurkers out there. Shout out to you guys. All right. So I don't know how well this is going to work because this table is actually off to my left right here. That's what this little wood piece is in the bottom left of my face cam screen. So I'm going to have to turn like this or so and act like that. So I did think about putting my table cam on the table in front of me, but my laptop is there that's running my audio software. So that wasn't going to work very well. So here's what we can do. We can move this guy. We're gonna work through this. Remember, this is my first time doing Magic Stream, so bear with me, alright? Bear with me. I can scoot to the left a little bit, hopefully. There we go. Hopefully that'll work. And okay. Let's move that like so. Alright, so here's the deck of cards that I usually take. And by usually I mean I quite literally have this deck of cards almost everywhere that I go. Yeah, it's kind of funny. So you'll notice it is in a stainless steel deck clip, and it's surrounded by a bunch of rubber bands. We'll get to the rubber bands here in a hot minute. Rubber bands are a great place to start with certain magic when you're in a close-up setting. So cards come out just like this. This is a stainless steel card clip for the Arcane card decks, which we're going to actually look at probably here in the second segment, or I mean maybe the first segment too. Let me turn the mic, hang on. There we go. Sorry about that. So that should be better, because now I'm pointing directly at the mic. So this is resemblant of the Arcane deck, of particularly the Ace of Spades. That's what that is right there. Here we go. Now you can see that better. And then the back side, this is what the Arcane decks look like on the backs. Really, really pretty. All right. So that's a stainless steel clip. The purpose of the clip, by the way, for anyone that's not used clips in cards, it basically just keeps the cards a little bit more secure from warping. Like if you keep them in your pocket or in a bag or whatnot, which I do all the time. So the deck that I'm actually using here is just is not a standard bicycle deck, but it is a bicycle deck. U.S. playing card company, of course. But this is the Masters Edition, the Red Masters Edition. You can't typically find these. I don't know if that's going to focus or not. Oh, there we go. It did focus. Sweet. So this is the Masters Edition bicycle playing card deck. Rider back playing cards. So this Masters Edition bicycle deck is probably one of my favorites. It's probably one of my favorite decks right now. Honestly, it's thing. This is going to frustrate me to all get out. This is probably one of my favorite decks right now, and that's because it's a little bit thicker than a normal deck, which is super, super nice when you take them everywhere. I can bend these cards, and they'll still be pretty. They'll still bend back for the most part. I mean, they're not going to be perfect once you bend the card, but they're definitely still usable. And I can spring these cards. Here, let me just open them up real quick. I need to figure out a spot to put my stinking headset cable somehow. There we go. I've always wanted to be in the NBA, Aris, but I don't the drawing style for I don't know the drawing style for me, and I've wanted to be a doctor, but I don't want to go to school for that long, or an engineer, because after school engineering club that we stay till 6 p.m. and go to state competition, I'm guessing, but I don't know what I'm gonna do. I've always doubted myself, and it usually works. Well, stop doubting yourself, man. Stop doubting yourself, mister. Put your heart to something, right? And do it to completion. You'd be surprised the amount of accomplishment that you will feel from finishing something from start all the way through to completion, man. Take the easy way out, be a magician. No, it's definitely not easy, I can tell you that. But like I was saying, these cards are a little bit thicker. I mean, you probably can't see the thickness there. I mean, you can see it a little bit on the camera, but they are a little bit thicker than normal bicycle cards. But they spring almost like they're brand new. So, and when I say almost like they were brand new, I mean obviously they've been used. They've been used for a long time, and there's the bow in the deck is like almost non-existent, because they're thicker cards. It's a thicker card stock. I know how to play a trumpet. That's my backup. So that's my backup. I got you. All right. So this should still. Which way is? Yeah, this should still work from this side, I would imagine. All right. So no, that's not working as well. It works better from this side. That's interesting. I thought this was like I could work from both sides of this microphone, but apparently not. Anyway, all right. So here's the deal. So these are my favorite decks for the most part right now. I do use the Tally-Ho decks. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Tally-Ho or not, but I do use the Tally-Ho decks as well. ASMR? No, not doing ASMR. Sorry. You can go to another stream for ASMR. But they work decently well. Like I said, I haven't done a ton of Magic lately, so I'm going to apologize up front to all of you guys, or anybody that happens to pop into chat that is more than familiar with Magic stuff. But some of the things that I do typically in my time in business trips or whatnot is I always start with the rubber bands. I always start with the rubber bands. Why do I start with the rubber bands? I start with the rubber bands because everybody, for the most part, everybody's seen a card trick at some point or another. But few people, unless they were like into the Magic community, few people have actually seen rubber band tricks. And rubber bands you can get just about anywhere, but it's easy enough to just carry a handful of them on your person. So like I said, I always keep my deck kind of wrapped in a few rubber bands. I take a couple of these rubber bands like this. And one of the easiest, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the two rubber band tricks or the rubber band tricks done with 2 rubber bands. I'll not be able to watch your streams as often because school's back. Oh yeah. School will be starting back up soon. I'm not gonna say that's a bummer because school is good. Stay in school, people. But yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Hellfire was here earlier this morning, like right at the start of my stream, and he for a while he was trying to watch me and Tactic on the same day. That just wasn't working for him. School was becoming difficult to keep up with. So we strongly advised him to pick me or pick Tactic or pick neither. But one way or another, he needed to focus on his school. So definitely, Mr. Poop, focus on your school, man, for sure. So getting back to the magic here, I always start with magic band or rubber band trick just because it's something people typically haven't seen before. And what I'll usually do is I'll say, okay, look, you've got 2 tricks or 2 rubber bands right here. They're interlocked rubber bands. I can't uninterlock them via one finger or the other way. They're really, truly interlocked. Can't go this way, can't go this way, can't go through the middle. But ultimately, if you rub them ever so slightly, then they just pull apart. So again, you interlock the rubber bands. They are definitely 100% interlocked right now. You pull one way, you pull the other way, you pull through the middle. You can pull them multiple ways over and over and over again. But ultimately, the idea here is that if you rub them just ever so slightly, then they pull apart. Right? So this particular trick is great because it's a great visual, and the sleight of hand is so subtle that even if you know what's happening, it's really hard to catch. Even when you know what's happening, it can be really, really hard to catch if done right. I just do my homework in class. Well, I wouldn't advise doing your homework in class all of the time. In fact, really, I don't advise doing your homework in class at all. But if you're gonna do it, you should probably save it for the really, really easy stuff. You use Magic Genie, aka Will Smith. Yes, every single time I do a magic trick, I ask for a wish. So again, one more time as a performance. You interlock the rubber bands. They are truly interlocked, right? They are truly interlocked. Can't go out through the middle, certainly, right? But then if you rub, then they come apart just like that. So for those of you following at home, essentially, and I can show you guys how this is done as well because you can find this all over YouTube if you know what to search for. To be honest, I don't remember what the name of this particular specific magic trick is. But this is a fantastic starting magic trick. But it does require a little bit of dexterity in your fingers. So, the way this works is you do in fact interlock your rubber bands. My teachers don't mind me doing my homework in class because I'm usually done 99.91% of the time. Well, that's good. So, you interlock them on specifically, your pointer finger and your thumb. Specifically, your pointer finger and your thumb, unless it's social studies or reading. On both fingers, pointer finger and thumb, first finger, index finger, and thumb. And it's specifically those two. And the reason why is because of the way the sleight is performed. So, for those of you wondering how I did this, we're about to go into the tutorial here of how that is done, like that. All right? So, you want to interlock these 2 rubber bands. Go figure. So, what you're going to do is you're going to take... What I usually do is I use my ring finger or my middle finger on my left hand to grab the right one from my right thumb, and then re-grab with the thumb on the inside of the left rubber band. And that's just, that's not really a tutorial of anything. That's just saying how, that's the tip for how I quickly get into an interlocked rubber band. If it works just as well for you to do this. It works just as well for you to go, okay, let me let me grab this one on that finger, and then this one on this finger, and then this one on this finger, and this one on this finger. Like, I mean, you can do it however you feel comfortable doing it, but the end result needs to be that you have both rubber bands on pointer and thumbs that are interlocked. Okay? Hey, Kiwi! Good morning! How are you? Well, good evening your time, right? Definitely good evening your time. Folks, if you are not following Kiwi, do check her out. Oh, if I can get to my keyboard. Shout out Kiwi. What? Dang it, can't spell. There we go. Whew. Whew. I'm doing well. I am doing well, Kiwi. I have not streamed in like forever, I feel like. It's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks. As I believe you know because we follow each other on Twitter. So Kiwi is such a fun person, y'all. Like, she's got a great personality. New Zealand streamer, so I mean, she's like in the evening hours right now. So if you're in my time zone, she's like opposite us. She's in the future, I think. Yeah, I was gonna say it's been ages. Glad you're back. Thanks. I've been on business trips back to back, and it's been rough. It's been busy. It's actually, I mean, it's not even like it's been busy. It's been like a bad busy. Like work has been really, really bad lately. And I foresee it only going worse for the next couple months before it gets better. How's the puppy settling in? The puppy is doing fantastic, actually. Let me see. Hang on, guys. I tried to get a puppy cam. Hang on, let me see. I don't know if this is going to work at all. I honestly do not know if this is going to work. Okay, so let's see. Hang on. I don't know. So this is my setup, by the way, for anybody wondering. Come on, shrink down, Mr. Mic or camera. Here we go. I thought you said puppy. Scream. No, not puppy scream. Oh, it won't go down further. So the puppy is like right down here. And he's like asleep. So I can't really move him. You can see like the top of him right there though. Come on. Where's the... Let me see if I can scoot back a little. Oh, you can almost see him. You can almost see him. Oh, his head moved. It moved. Ah, it's not working that well. So I put up the camera so that I could actually point it down. But, yeah. Ember. Ember. There you are. Hi, puppy. Hi. Sorry to wake you. So that's Ember, y'all. Alright, I'm gonna have to scoot back in, though. You can't put your head there, because I'm gonna run it over with the wheels on this chair. Alright, let me switch back. There we go. Alright, so that was the puppy. Hey, ADR, good morning. Puppy plus puppy equals max puppy cuteness. Yes. Alright, let me... Okay. Alright, dog. Get back. Get back. I'm gonna run you over. Sorry, pup. All right, so I got the new camera just from like Amazon Prime days, like the 2 back-to-back days, because that specific camera was like 70% off. It was ridiculous. So I was like, okay. And then the arm mount that it's on was like 30% off, and I was like, this is like a win-win. This is easy. This was an easy decision. So I got a new camera and put it there because people have asked to like see my setup multiple times. And by the way, thank you, Kiwi, for the compliment on my setup. Yeah, I've got like a 3 monitor. Here, let me go back real quick. So, yeah, so 3 monitor setup. That one usually has, this is my chat bot up, and Discord and stuff is over there. Main monitor, and then that's Streamlabs OBS, obviously. And then this is my Alienware laptop that I have, that I'm running Presonus Studio One software on. And this over here is my audio interface. I have my mics going through it. My headset comes through it. My studio, I actually have a recording studio off to my left, behind that wall over there. But that goes into this audio interface as well, which gets snaked up into the laptop. The laptop then spits audio back into the desktop for OBS. It is really complicated, Mr. Poop. I'm not even going to lie. It's really complicated, but I do like it. You need more wiring by the looks of it. Yeah. Yeah, I need a ton more wiring. Definitely. 100%. Yeah, and then, of course, here's my coffee. Yes, coffee. Definitely need more wiring. All right, let's get back into. I don't know why it's not transitioning when I go back and forth between there. I don't know. Anyway, I was about to get into the tutorial for you all on this on the rubber band trick, right? So, let me scoot back again. Sorry, puppers. Sorry, puppy. All right. So what I was getting ready to show you guys was the tutorial for basically how to do this. So I'll do the performance one more time for anybody just joining us. You take 2 rubber bands. Really, really, really easy trick here. Well, not really, really easy, but really easy in concept. In practice, it takes a little bit more. So you take 2 rubber bands, you interlock them. Please know that will have a seizure epically if it's not organized. So yeah, most of my wires are decently organized, but I definitely do need more organization with the wires. Anyway, so you take 2 rubber bands, you interlock them, pointer finger and index finger, and then you just go, look, people, look, spectators. I can't separate them this way. I certainly can't separate them through the middle. They're definitely interlocked there. They're truly interlocked, but watch, if you rub ever so slightly, then they separate. So, the tutorial for this, as I said, you want to interlock the 2 rubber bands. Go figure. Go figure. You want to interlock the 2 rubber bands. All right? Well, you just wait, Kiwi, because I'm about to show you how you can do this and fool your own friends and family. Oh, yeah. Which, P.S., guys, any tricks that I am revealing on this Twitch channel or that I've revealed on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, the RND, are tricks that you can generally find for free on the internet anyway, as is. Not all of them, but if you can't find them for free, then you can find them for cheap. So, that said, you want to interlock these 2 rubber bands. I do have tricks, by the way, that cost a lot more money. Those I will not be revealing for obvious reasons. So, you want to interlock the 2 rubber bands, as I've said like 1,000 times now. But they want to specifically be your thumbs and index fingers that you are interlocking them on, all right? And then here's the thing. You want to have your middle fingers on top of both rubber bands for an appearance sake on both. You're only going to need it on your dominant hand, which in my case is my right hand, all right? So you're going to show to the spectator that you can't separate them this way, or certainly through the middle. You can't separate them, and I'll usually do it multiple times just to show them that they are really truly interlocked. But then on the last time that you go through the middle, your right hand, okay, when you pull, notice how when you pull the rubber bands, usually you're pulling where your index finger, I don't know, there we go, is curling, because you need to hold the rubber band. If it doesn't curl, then you're going to let go of the rubber band, right? So you need to curl it in order to hook it in the rubber band in order to keep it from falling off your finger. Go figure, right? Well, when you go to curl, instead of curling your index finger to grab that rubber band, curl your middle finger inside of the rubber band. So you're curling so that your pointer finger falls out of the rubber band and your middle finger goes in instead. Okay? And that's what you're showing. So again, when you show to the spectator that you can't separate them through the middle, notice my right hand right here. I'm going a little bit sideways right here, taking my index finger out, and my middle finger in, like that. So my middle finger is right now in, and my pointer finger is out. Pointer finger's out, middle finger's in. Okay? And here's the thing. When you come back into this position, that's where the sleight of hand happens. This is where the sleight of hand happens. Ready? Pay attention, because it's really, really hard to explain it. It's really easy enough to show it, I guess, but this is where it's going to take a lot of practice. You're going to want to watch this VOD over and over again, probably, or find a video of this on YouTube. So when you come back, I'm trying to figure out the best way to show it on the camera, too. When you come back, so right now, middle finger is what's inside. Okay, when you come back, you're going to take your pointer finger, and instead of putting it back where it came from, you're going to put it inside the same loop that your thumb is in. So when you pull them apart like this, however I can get this to show on the camera well, you want your fingers to be really close together so that there's no funny business showing, if you will. And then when you come back, you're going to put your middle finger, or your pointer finger, in the loop where your thumb is, okay? And you're going to let go, at the same time, you're going to let go of your middle finger, okay? Because what happens if you put your thumb and your index finger in the same loop and let go of the middle finger, what is going to happen right now? They are separated, all right? So again, when you pull, your index finger comes out, middle finger goes in, and when you come back, index finger goes in with thumb and let go of middle finger. They are separated right now. So, to create the illusion that nothing happened, that something was funny, you're going to do that move on your way in, on your way back to the original position, like that. And it happens really quick, but now from here, you can pretend like all it takes is a little rubbing, and the rubber bands separate. But of course, when you were in this position, they were already separated, if that makes sense. So at full speed, that looks like this. Okay? And slow-mo, that looks like this. You're going to pull, curl, remove middle or index finger, put in middle finger. On your way back, put index in with thumb, and let go of middle finger. There, I just did it. And pretend to rub and separate. All right, so again, that performance looks like this. Interlocked rubber bands. They can't escape this way, can't escape this way, can't go through the middle, right? But watch, if you rub, they're separated. It happens just like that. All right? Questions, tips, tricks, gotchas. The biggest gotcha that I've had, by the way, is doing this move on the way back. Starting to do this too early. So what I've learned to do is not to do this until I'm all the way back here, like that. So if you start spreading this here, then the moment you let go of your middle finger, there's something visible that happened that people tend to catch, and they're just like, I saw something, I don't know what it was, but that's where you did the switch. Well, yeah, that is where I did the switch. They might not know exactly what happened, but they saw something happen, right? So what I do now is I don't let go of my middle finger until I'm all the way back here, and I'm starting to rub. So if I do that in slow motion, right? Like, you barely see anything happen. And if it's happening fast, then you don't see anything. All right? So, hopefully you guys got an idea there. I imagine nobody's chatting right now because everybody's finding rubber bands so they can try this. Yeah. Again, just like that. Gobsmacked. All right. So this is the trick again. So this is the trick that I usually start with. For those of you just joining, by the way, I don't do a ton of close-up magic. I really don't. But I go on a lot of business trips, and I always carry around a deck of cards wrapped in a few rubber bands. And I typically, when people are like, "Oh, you do magic," I typically start with this. This trick is usually what I start with, because it's usually something that people haven't seen before. You know, everyone has seen like a pick a card trick, right? Um, but few people, unless you're obviously magic familiar, few people have actually seen magic with rubber bands specifically. So with that, we'll dive into a couple of the routines that I do with cards. Again, for those of you joining that are more than familiar with magic, I apologize because I'm basically a glorified magic layperson. For the most part, I am not good at magic. I just know enough to get by and know that some of the very simple sleight of hand things that good magicians are good at and I'm not good at, I've learned how to mask them or distract while I do something special. That really doesn't explain a whole lot, but for example, most people in the magic community are familiar with a double lift. Most people are familiar with a double lift. A double lift, and again, this is a concept in magic that I can talk about, that I can reveal to you guys because there are plenty of YouTube videos on it that you can find it for free. So I am not revealing something that is going to get me in trouble. But the concept of a double lift is where instead of lifting the very top card, you make it look like you're lifting the top card, but you are in fact actually lifting the second from the top card, because in this case, the top card was the Ace of Diamonds. And what's interesting about the double lift is most magicians are really good at just taking their finger, their main hand finger, and grabbing two cards. And I'm not good at it at all. And I can just grab two cards and flip them like one card. What I do usually is I'll spread the cards a little bit, and while I'm talking or whatever, and then as I'm coming back, I'm intentionally squaring them up with a pinky break. A pinky break meaning I've got my pinky in a break in the cards. Go figure. Beneath the top two cards in the deck. So I'll spread them out like this, and then as I'm spreading them back, I'm intentionally making sure that my pinky is in spot to leave a gap underneath the top two cards. So that when I want to do a double lift, then I just go, okay, bam, that was easy. And you just pretend to flip over two cards as if they are a single card. That is the concept of a double lift, by the way. For anybody not familiar with a double lift, that's the concept of a double lift. It is really, really great for you going, look, we've got the 8 of clubs, and look, now we've got the Ace of Diamonds. Like, literally, you can do a magic trick with just a double lift. So for anybody that's not familiar with a double lift, you get decently practiced at flipping over two cards as if it was one card on the top of the deck. Bam, all of a sudden you can do magic. That does require sleight of hand, though, of course. Totally gonna try this. There you go. See, there you go. There's something in card magic also, by the way, that's called a color change. Actually, a color change is more than just card magic, but it's used oftentimes in close-up card magic. A color change is where a card changes, right? It's not just the color all the time. It could be anything. But one of my favorite early color changes that I learned when I was like 10, you take the two cards that you just flipped over, right? So you take the two cards you just flipped over and pretended like that was one card, right? And they're all squared up, and you just kind of slide it out. You slide the top card out just a little bit, and you go, look, we've got the ace or the 8 of clubs, right? We're gonna just cover it up just a little bit here, that 8 of clubs, and then all of a sudden, and you literally can rub the cards a little bit, but the idea here is that you kind of slowly reveal that it changed. And then you can always change it back. It's really hard to do this, like, because I'm looking at Streamlabs OBS to see, like, what I'm doing. But again, you cover it up ever so slightly, and you go, look, we've got the ace of diamonds, and ever so slightly, we can rub, and now it's back to the eight of clubs. Now, the way this is done is really, really obvious if you're paying attention closely. I mean, if you're in Magic, if you're not a layperson to Magic, then it doesn't take much paying attention. But if you're new to learning Magic, then if you paid attention very, very closely, then you probably saw what I was doing, or you could have seen what I was doing. All I'm doing is I'm sliding that card out, that top card. Now remember, we started with a double lift. So there's 2 cards here. There are 2 cards right here, face up, on the top of the deck right now. Okay? They don't know that, the spectator doesn't know that, but you know that there are 2 cards right here. So you slide one of them out with your whole palm, covering the other card underneath. And then when you go to cover it for a split second, what you are going to do is then take your palm and slide it out. Like that. See how it's sliding out with my palm right now? So you keep sliding it out and sliding it out. This is really hard to do in the camera. You slide it out until eventually it pops up. And then when you go back to cover it, you're covering it with that card underneath, with, in this case, the ace of diamonds. And you just go cover it all the way back up. You square everything up with your index finger. And then you just pretend to rub like you're painting a new card on there. So again, you slide it out just a little bit. Get ready with your pointer finger. And you go slide out, cover it back up, square everything up, and it's done. All right. I won't go into too much detail on that one. I think that one's decently straightforward. And again, you can rewatch the VOD like 1,000 times if you want to. That one wasn't one of the tricks I was planning on showing you guys. No, there's a much easier trick, guys, that I'm about to show you. There's a much, much easier trick that I'm about to show you guys. It's called a key card trick. There are a bunch of different ways to do key card tricks, but this particular trick is my favorite key card trick, and here is why this is my favorite key card trick. And actually, I think I have a YouTube video on this already, if I'm not mistaken, but don't quote me on that. The reason this is my favorite trick, or a key card trick, my favorite key card trick to do, is because you can be completely off your game and still probably not mess this up. You can even let the spectator mess with the cards a little bit, and you still probably not mess this up. And it is the perfect use case, or the perfect type of trick it's the perfect type of trick for getting a free dessert, or if you happen to be at a bar and it's for getting a free round, or whatnot, or free things. I saw Rubik's Cube. Are you going to do some tricks with that? I do have. I mean, I can solve the Rubik's Cube if you want me to. But I did a couple weeks ago. I was showing the new Rubik's Cube, the smart Rubik's Cube that I got. I do have a Rubik's Cube trick, but I'm not comfortable showing that on camera. I've only done the Rubik's Cube magic trick that I have a couple times in public. It's not the easiest thing conducive to showing on a camera, but we can absolutely take a look at the video a little bit later on what the trick is that I got. It's called what's it called? It's called Isolated by Kieran Johnson is the name of the Rubik's Cube trick. So, the key card trick that I'm talking about, ready? If you guys haven't been... I might do this one for Jake's Unlimited. Okay. I don't know what Jake's Unlimited is. So, for those of you out there watching right now, if you're wanting to learn a really, really easy trick, the last 2 tricks that I just showed you required some sleight of hand. There is almost no sleight of hand required. No, there is no. There really is no sleight of hand required in this next trick that I'm about to show you guys. The only thing required in this is a tiny bit of misdirection. Okay? There's a tiny bit of misdirection required in this, and here it is. So you are going to have the user, have the spectator, pick a card, right? You don't have to spread the cards like that. I'm really bad at spreading cards, so I just fan the cards typically like this. But you have the spectator pick a card, okay? And we'll say in this case that well, I don't know how I'm going to do this because I'm supposed to pick the card. I'm not used to doing this way. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Just for kicks and giggles, we are going to show you the card, right? And I'm going to pretend like I'm looking away. I actually legitimately am looking away. I don't know what this card is right now, so you guys can see this card. Okay, you are the spectator right now. You are the I just realized I got to get closer to my microphone. You guys are the spectator right now, so you guys can see this card. I can't see this card. Okay, and all you're going to do, remember, this is a beginner magic trick. So the idea here is you are going to tell the spectator that you're not really good at magic, that you don't do magic tricks very often, or you only know a couple tricks. So for the sake of this trick, you're going to tell the spectator, just put it on top. Just put it on top. So they're going to put the card on the top of the deck, like this. Okay? So you put the card on the top of the deck, and here's what you say. You're going to say, okay, spectator, I'm just going to cut the deck, cut the cards. Now, however you feel comfortable cutting the cards, this is a legitimate cut of the cards, okay? You're going to cut the cards clean, very fair cut of the cards. And now what you're going to say is, you know what? Let's give the cards a couple more cuts. We can cut the cards a few more times. That's fine. And then you can even give it to the spectator. You can even give it to the spectator to cut the cards. And here's why I say that I really, really like this trick. It's because even if the spectator took the cards and they shuffled them, there's a 1 in 52 card or 1 in 52 chance that they will mess up this trick. The odds are very much in your favor that they will not mess this up, even if they shuffle the cards. Now, I don't like to shuffle the cards, or if I do shuffle the cards, I'm very particular with how I shuffle them, and I'll get into that in a minute. But for the sake of the performance, you're going to say, okay, you take the cards back, and you say, okay, here's the thing. Now, you can spin this however you want to spin this. You can say, look, you touched one card longer than the other cards in the deck. That leaves a little bit of hand residue on that one card, so I'm going to attempt to start flipping these cards and find the one card that you touched longer than all of the other cards in the deck. And don't tell me when I found your card. I'm going to find your card, okay? I'm going to tell you when I found it. And here's what you do. You just start flipping through the cards just like this. Just like this. And you keep flipping and you keep flipping. And you can talk to them however you'd like to talk to them. Hey! 2-liter boneless, nice name. 2-liter boneless. Thank you so much for the follow. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm sorry, I just realized I don't have the alerts turned on this overlay on this scene. I just realized. So we're gonna have to fix that here in a hot minute. So, getting back to the performance here, you just keep flipping, and you can talk to them however you want to talk to them. You know, make small talk or whatever, but you just keep flipping away. And hopefully you find the cards before you get to the end of the deck, right? That would be nice. Oh my goodness. So you just keep flipping, and then you say, you know what? I think I found your card. In fact, I would be willing to bet you maybe dessert. If the next card that I flip over is your card, would you be willing to give me a dessert? And at this point, they're probably going to say yes, because they think you're going to flip over this card. But in fact, I'm going to flip over this one right here. So again, I wasn't paying attention earlier, or I wasn't looking at the camera earlier, but I'm assuming that that was in fact the correct card. People, correct me if I'm wrong. That should have been the correct card. Hopefully it was. And I will show you guys how to do that trick here now. So, obviously the explanation there with the hand residue, it was. Okay, thanks. Obviously the explanation there with the hand residue was wrong. So, when you do this trick again, I barely saw it. So again, when you do this trick, the play here is you want to approach this as if you are a newbie magician, like you're not, you know, an adept magician, and then that makes really everything you do from here on out really, really easy. If you're horrible at cutting the cards, if you're horrible at shuffling, if you're horrible at handling the cards, any of that is explained away because you said, look, this is not something that you do regularly, right? I'm gonna go jam out to Barney really quick. All right, man, no worries. So The idea with this trick, it's a key card trick, okay? It's a super easy trick to do. It requires slight misdirection at one point. And the slight misdirection happens as you're talking to them or as you're explaining things to them, or maybe you're just getting their name or whatever. But the slight that happens is maybe you're talking, or maybe you're spinning the cards, or whatever you're doing. Maybe you're showing that it's a real deck of cards and that all the cards are different, or whatever you want to do. But at some point or another, you need to make a point to memorize the bottom card of the deck, which in this case is the 6 of clubs. You need to memorize the bottom card of the deck. And that's it. That's it. That's all of the setup for this trick. So the reason that these types of tricks are called key card tricks is because I, as the magician, have no idea. Legitimately, I have no idea what card the spectator picks. Like I said earlier, I had to verify it in chat that I actually picked the right card, right? So when the spectator picks a card, again, you can spread the cards however you want. You can spread them that way. You can fan the cards. So you can do whatever. When the spectator picks out a card, now this time we're going to reveal it. So if the spectator picks the Queen of Spades in this case, okay, they're picking the Queen of Spades. You tell them to look at it, show their friends, their family, other people at the restaurant, whatever, right? They're looking at that. You have no idea what that card is, okay? All you care about is that card right there, the bottom card of the deck. That's it. That's the one card you need to memorize, and you need to make sure that you memorize it correctly. The 6 of clubs, 6 of clubs, 6 of clubs. So that when they hand you the card and you say, okay, put the card on the top of the deck. That's it. Setup is done. Well, setup is almost done. One last thing you need to make sure that you do when they put the card on the top of the deck is you need to say, okay, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut the cards. And this is a fair, legitimate cut of the cards. You take the cards, this is their spectator's card right here, and you take the card that you memorized, this is a cut of the cards, the bottom card is now going to go directly on top of theirs. The 6 of clubs is now directly on top of whatever card the spectator just picked. You don't have any idea what the card is that the spectator picked, but you know that the 6 of clubs is right on top of it. Now again, you can now cut the cards, and they can even shuffle the cards if they want. But the point is that there is like a 1 in 52 card chance, or 1 in 52 chance that they're going to split those two cards. Basically 1 in 52. I'm assuming because there's 52 cards in the deck, right? So now, all you need to do is start flipping through these, and you are going to look for the one card that you memorized, the 6 of clubs. You memorized the 6 of clubs. There's the 6 of clubs, okay? There's the 6 of clubs. The very next card you flip over is going to be their card. Now, here's the kicker. This is the way that you guys and myself, we get the free dessert. Or the free round, or whatever the case may be. The free water. Right? This is how you do it. You do not say right now that the very next card I flip over is going to be your card. No. Because they haven't seen their card yet. So this could very well be their card, for all they know. No, you keep flipping. You see the card that you planned on seeing. You know this is their card, and you flip it. And then you keep flipping, but you leave their card visible. And you just keep flipping. But now you know, you've paid attention. That was your card. This is their card. That Queen of Spades is their card that you know of. And you just keep flipping. And you cover it a little bit more, until eventually you feel comfortable that you've significantly passed their card. And now you say at some random point, you say, you know what? I bet the next card I flip over is going to be yours. And you even push this out a little bit. Go ahead and push it out a little bit like they think you're about to flip this card. Don't say, this card is yours. Do not say that. Because as soon as you say that and you flip that card over, they're going to call you a liar. You say the next card The next card I flip over is going to be yours. You can do this all you want. You're insinuating that it's going to be this card, but you never said it was going to be this card. You just say the next card that I flip over is going to be your card. How much do you want to bet? $5, a round, a dessert, whatever. And then when they say, yeah, I'll take you up on that bet, because of course they're going to take you up on that bet. They see that their card is right here. You've passed their card already. They think you're going to flip over this card. There's no possible way it could be their card. But then when they take you up on that bet, then you come over here and you flip over the spectator's card. Done. You just earned yourself a free dessert. You would be surprised how well this trick works. Not just from a functional standpoint, but from a getting free desserts standpoint. You would be surprised. So again, all that needed to happen for this to work successfully is legit. Take a peek at the bottom card. Take a peek at the bottom card. You have them pick a card. Whatever card they pick, you don't... That's weird. That's weird. That I just straight up picked the 6 of clubs. That was magic in and of itself right there. Oh my goodness. That's gonna freak me out. Let's pick a different card. Let's just grab another random card. There we go. Okay, I don't think that was used earlier. Alright. So you pay attention to the bottom card, which is the Jack of Hearts in this case. They pick a card. They put it on the top of the deck. You cut the cards, which puts your card, the Jack of Hearts, on top of their card. And then you can cut the cards more if you want, or not. You don't have to. And then you just start flipping through the cards. As soon as you start flipping through the cards, I'm just going to skip a little bit here. You start flipping through the cards, and as soon as you see your Jack of Hearts, or whatever it was... Did I go too far? I might have gone too far. There it is. The Jack of Hearts. Then you know the next card is theirs, and you keep going. How much do you want to bet the next card I flip over is yours? Oh, a dessert? Okay, and then you flip over theirs. That's it. That's it. This is the key card trick to go down in history as one of my favorite easy card tricks. One of my favorite easy card tricks. And it is one of my favorite, in fact, because of how easy it is, how hard it is to mess up, and how much return on my investment I've gotten from desserts. Among other things. I just got kicked out of Twitch. Kicked out by Twitch, or like did Twitch, like the website, fail on you? But no ban? Okay. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I know that you like typed up the lyrics to the Barney song. Barney is a dinosaur from our imagination when he saw it. Yeah. Dinosaur sensation. Barney's friends are big and small. They come from lots of places. After school, they meet and play and sing with happy faces. Barney shows a lot. Yeah, anyway. I might have heard that song once or twice before. So Simple, gonna try that right now on Sarah. Nice, nice. Wait, what are you gonna try to get free from your wife? No, just kidding. Just kidding. Family friendly, y'all. No, it's a fantastic trick, though. It really is. I love, love, love this trick. Now, it's a Barney song. Yes, I know it's a Barney song. I might have heard that song once or twice when I was younger. I didn't watch Barney, but my younger sister did. I mean, I watched Barney when it was on TV, and she was watching it because we didn't have 1,000 TVs when I was growing up. But, yeah. Anyway, my dad would attest to that fact. He's out there somewhere, bug eyes. All right. So what have we done so far? We've done the rubber band trick. We've done the rubber band trick. I showed you a very, very simple color change. A very, very simple color change, right? Where you go, there you go, right? And then we just did a key card trick. What time is it? Yeah, I can do some more. Okay. So again, for those of you just joining or that have joined before or after I mentioned all of this, this is my first Magic Monday. It's going to be the first Monday of every month going forward. I'm going to reiterate some of these tricks for segment 1 every single time. The first half of the stream is going to be what I've been doing lately in Magic. anything new that I've learned, anything new that I've seen in Magic, maybe some new tutorials, whatnot, etc., etc. And then the second half of the streams are going to be me looking at what you guys are doing in Magic or looking at what other people are doing Magic. So first half is what I'm doing Magic, second half is what others are doing in Magic. So we're going to look at some websites and some channels and some videos for the second half. But for now, I'm going to show you some other stuff here. Oh, I did show you guys a double lift too. Oh, excuse me. Oh, got some burpiness in there. Excuse me. Oh, and at one point we showed the puppers. Yes. Hang on, he's like asleep in a different position. Let me see if I can get a better picture of him for you guys. I tried. I can't get the camera to turn more. All right, so. Oh, he just moved positions anyway. So that wouldn't have lasted long anyway, even if it worked. Okay, so the one main other. This is actually a set of tricks that I typically do. F is for friends, do stuff together. U is for you and me. N is for anywhere, anytime at all. Yeah. Wow. Nice. It worked. No practice. Sarah's freaking out. That's awesome. That is awesome. That's awesome. It's super easy, right? I love that trick. So the next couple tricks I'm going to show you guys, technically I can show you some of how I'm doing the next few tricks, but certain other aspects I can't. And the reason I can't is because they cost more than a handful of dollars for the how-tos or the reveals. You can find them in some Magic books. So, hang on, throat got dry. Sorry, guys. Don't you hate it when that happens? When your throat just randomly gets dry? So the reason I can't show you everything in the next routine or so is because some of the tricks are still up for main sale, which basically just means there are legitimately people making a living off of some of these tricks. So because of that, I would be shunned in the Magic community if I was to give away certain aspects or certain trick reveals. Whereas certain other things I can absolutely reveal because, again, they're either already free, common Magic knowledge, YouTubes are out, whatever. YouTube videos are out or whatever. So, the next routine of Magic that I do is something that's very, very popular in card Magic. So if you've spent any significant amount of time learning about card Magic and card routines, then you've probably heard or come across this concept before, and that is the ACR. ACR, which stands for Ambitious Card Routine. The concept of the ambitious card routine is the same. The spectator's selected card, which can be a signed card, comes to the top of the deck or reappears somewhere else, but it's used over and over and over again for multiple effects and multiple tricks. There is no one set way for doing an ACR. Everybody does their own ACR a little bit different. And even when I do it slightly different depending on who's watching me and depending on what card deck I'm using. So, with that, I'll get into some of it. But the idea of the ambitious card routine, the ACR, is where you have the spectator select a card. And it can be any card. So, in this case, I'll just use the top card. All right. So, they select a card. In this case, it's the Four of Spades. And what happens is essentially you say, okay, we're going to riffle through these cards. when I was playing a rap battle game, I copy and pasted SpongeBob Barney lyrics. Nice, nice. Um, you're going to take the spectator's card, and you can know what the spectator's card is, by the way. In this particular thing, like you can start off by not knowing, but the first time you reveal what their card is, you keep using that same card going forward. So this card could have come from any number of different tricks that we did, but the idea here is you have perfect idea what their card is. They can even sign the card. You are literally using the same card every single time out of a normal deck of cards, typically. In my case, that's every single time. So you take their signed card in this case, right? And I'm not going to sign it for the sake of this because I'm running low on magic or on decks, on card decks. So I need to order new card decks. But basically, what you're going to do is you're going to take the spectator's card, and it goes in the middle of the deck somehow. It doesn't matter how it goes in the middle of the deck. It can go in the middle of the deck 1,000 different ways. But the idea here is that it goes into the middle of the deck. You square up the cards, nice and clean and fair, and then in any number of different ways, you find ways to where their card is ambitious. Now, usually, well, I won't say usually, but oftentimes the explanation is that you explain to them, hey, this is an ambitious card routine, or you just say, hey, your card is ambitious. Are you ambitious? Oh, you are. You try to get higher up in the workplace, or you're striving for new goals all the time, or nothing keeps you satisfied, so you're always working to achieve more. However you want to explain the word ambitious, you explain it to them and you say this card is the same way. This card is ambitious. It is going to try its hardest to rise to the top every single time. Just like human beings, when they're ambitious, they rise to the top. Your card is now ambitious just like you, and it is always going to try to rise to the top. So no matter what I do to cut this deck or to shuffle it or what have you, no matter what, it rises to the top. So in that particular case, that was really, really simple. And if you are not a layperson to Magic, then you would have known how I did that. Hey, young guy, how are you, man? Welcome back. Welcome back. Yes, you have been following for, wow, over a month and a half, in fact. Dang, it's been that long. Nice. Well, welcome back, dude. Hopefully you're having a good day today. So, with that particular effect, I can absolutely show you, guys. Oh, actually, you've been following longer than Kiwi. I don't have watch time. Sorry, man. I don't have watch time. So, again, the idea of the ambitious card, though, it's a routine of tricks. Yeah, you've been following for almost a year, man. Not longer than me. And yeah, and ADR has been following for over a year, in fact. I think that suggests that I'm coming up on my affiliate anniversary, which I'm going to have to think of something to do for that soon. I win. All right. So with the ambitious card routine, getting back to this real quick. With the ambitious card routine, there are a number of different ways that you can control a card to come to the top of the deck. In this particular case, all I did, and I can show you guys this because it's actually really simple. I put the card in the middle of the deck, legit fair and square, just like this, except when I squared it, it wasn't fair. When I pushed this card in, I pushed really hard on one side, and I'm not going to go into hyper detail into how I did this, but if you rewatch this over and over again, you can figure it out. I pushed really hard on one corner, and you can see the card popping out in the back right there. And then I just got my pinky over top of it, and I made a very, very, very big gap right here. And then when I squared up the cards, I squared up the cards just like this, and they are decently squared up. But I have a pinky break on top of the spectator's card. And then when I cut the cards, I took off the top like third or the top quarter of the deck. And then I took all the way down to their card. And now this is their card right here. And then just put that right there. I just controlled the card. I got it to the top of the deck. Whoop-de-doo. Extra special magic. Bam, there it is on the top. So again, I'm not going to go into super detail into how I did that one. In fact, many of these I'm not going to go into super detail because several of these you can still pay for. But again, you can just rewatch the VOD and just fast forward, rewind back and forth, and you get it. It's no big deal. Nice, Mr. Poop. All right, so so again, the idea of the ambitious card is the spectator's card, in this case the four of spades, comes to the top of the deck over and over and over and over and over again. So some of my favorite ways of doing this is taking it like this, okay? Taking it just like this and saying, look, guards are noob. Yes, yes. Can you show me some tricks? Hey, young guy, I've actually been showing tricks since the start of the stream. So I'm going to show a few more how-tos, but I'm not going to go into hyper-detailed tutorials, probably. Maybe a little bit on one or two. But I've shown 2 or 3 tricks already. So by all means, man, check out the VOD when this is done and go back and check them out. I did something with rubber bands. I did something with a color change on a card. I showed my favorite key card trick ever just moments ago, in fact. So basically what we're going to do with this is we're going to take the 4 of spades, and all we're going to do is we're going to take the 4 of spades and put it right here in the middle of the deck. Okay, and just like this, we slide it in nice, fair, and square. I'm not doing anything funny. It just goes in just like this. And here's the thing. You can have the spectator have a magic word, or you can just snap your fingers, or whatever. And then just like that, it's on the top. Again, what that looked like, I'll do it exactly the same again. Okay, you just show them, look, we've got your 4 of spades, or whatever that is, right? You flip it just like this. You put it in the middle of the deck. Push it in nice and fair and square, just like that. And then you can say, bam, there it is, on the top of the deck. And you do the thing where you flip them between your hands. I'm not very good at it. I'm really not very good at it. Are you just talking about when you do that? See, I'm obviously not very good at it. I do it better with my right hand, though. If you have to kind of have your hands at like a certain level, and then you just kind of flick like that, and it goes to the other hand. But if you do it properly, then it's supposed to flip like 360 degrees and then land on the top of the deck. But obviously I suck at it, so I'm horrible at it. See? Yeah, anyway. So no, I can't do it. To answer your question, no, I can't. No. But anyway, so that particular trick, okay, just looks like this. No, the one where you do all the cards at once. I'm not sure I know what trick that is, honestly. Are you just, is it like a magic trick, or is it just like a cardistry type thing? Cardistry is just where you're handling the cards in a cool fashion. Are you just talking about like flipping the cards as a whole deck? I mean, in theory, if you bow the cards just a little bit, then you should be able to flip them, but I'm kind of scared to do that because I'm not used to doing it. It's just for show. Yeah, no, I'm not adept at doing it. I probably could if I practiced at it, but I haven't, so sorry. Sorry, man. So but the idea of this particular thing, the way I explain this particular trick, is essentially this, okay? Is I say, look, their card, and I'll do some of these tutorials in a little bit. I'm just kind of showing them, I'm just showing you a little bit of the performance of how I do the ambitious card first. But basically I say, look, I just slid your card in, and it's certainly not at the top of the deck yet. Okay? It's not at the top of the deck, not yet. It's not at the top of the deck, in fact, until I actually do the move. In fact, I mean, you can see it's not on the top of the deck yet. It's not even the second from the top, right? It's not going to come to the top of the deck until I actually do the move. And the move is a one-hand pass. Essentially, with my single hand, I can control a card to the top of the deck from the middle. Watch, it looks like this. You see it in the flick wrist movement? Like, essentially, when I flicked my wrist, I moved the card from the middle to the top. And there it is. And then you get like, what? No, I didn't see anything. Or you'll be like, no, yeah, I think I saw it. And I'll do it again. Watch. We're going to slide this one card out. And we're going to put all of these cards on top. In fact, we'll even do it with fewer cards this time. We'll put these cards over there, okay? Let's put the top half of the deck over there. And look, just like this, I'll slide the card in, just like that. And with fewer cards now, watch. I do the move just like that. And now the card comes Oh, you know what? The top of the deck is actually over there. That usually gets them freaking out. That usually gets them freaking out a little bit. Usually I try to save that one for one of the end effects in my ambitious card routine, just because it's so powerful. So, because obviously, like, how did the card jump from one hand to the table? That's kind of crazy, right? So, so essentially, some of what I did there was a little bit of double lifts. It was a little bit of various effects. Excuse me. There is one. So let me back up for a second here. I don't typically explain the ambitious card routine, so I apologize there. So I don't know if you guys caught that or not. I'll go and do it a little bit again. So we take the spectator's card. Sorry, I was arguing with the 8-ball. It's all good. I'm burping here. We take the spectator's card, okay? And essentially we're going to take the spectator's card and we're going to flip it and put it right here in the middle of the deck, okay? Now, the way I explained it away was I tell people that it's called the one-handed pass, that with a single hand, I can control a card from the middle of the deck to the top of the deck, and it looks like that, right? So I do that like one or two times. And here's one of my favorite things to do too, by the way, is you kind of go, all right, we're going to put it in the middle of the deck, like right about, yeah, that's more or less the middle of the deck, give or take, right? And that was something called the Marlowe tilt. And if you're not familiar with the Marlowe tilt, I will absolutely show you guys how it's done here in a hot minute. But what that essentially did was that allowed me to, well, I'll show the spectator again. I'm going back and forth between what I tell the spectator and what I'm telling you guys behind the scenes. But I'll do the move again, the pretend move, and show them that their card has moved to the top of the deck again. But what the Marlowe tilt is it's actually a secret move for helping you get the spectator's card to the second from the top, or the third from the top if you want to do it that way too. But essentially, what that looks like is you take the cards. Okay, here's the spectator's card. You take one card and you set it up with a pinky break underneath the top, just like this. And you get a little bit of a gap. That's hard to show you in the camera. There we go. You get a little bit of a gap right here behind, underneath that top card. Okay? And now this is a little bit of an optical illusion, the way this actually works. Okay? It's a little bit of an optical illusion the way this works. And you can actually kind of see that the card is bent right now, and that's not really the ideal way of doing it. That's really how you want to do this particular effect. But what you do right now, again, you have a gap right there. Okay? What you want to do is you want to poke out some cards in the middle. So you just stab this card in the middle right here, making it look like you're about to put it somewhere in the middle of the deck. And you say, that's about the middle of the deck, right? And of course it looks like it's the middle of the deck. But then what you actually do is you take the card back out, and you make it look like you're putting it down there. But in fact, what you're doing is you're putting it in that gap. You're putting it in that gap. In fact, you can even bend that card just a little bit, and it looks even better. It looks like it's going even further down in the deck right now. But it's not. It's literally going the second spot. So you just slide it in right there, and it goes right in the second spot in the deck. Look at how good that looks right now. It is nowhere near the middle of the deck. It is literally the second card in the deck. But because there's a nice little gap right there, it looks really good. That's called the Marlowe tilt. But then you just finish putting that in there, and then all I did was do a double lift now. Gonna head off, but glad to catch some tricks. Nice. Kiwi, thank you so much for hanging out. It's always a pleasure to have you. Always fun to see you. Hope the rest of the stream goes well. Thank you, Kiwi. I think it's probably evening time for you, so you're probably about to go to sleep. So, or maybe in a little bit, I don't know. But hopefully you have a good rest of your day or evening, and thanks for swinging by again. Folks, again, if you haven't checked out Kiwi, please swing by her channel. She's a fantastic personality, fantastic streamer, and New Zealand, so again, she's opposite time zone as me, but great personality, fun person. Thanks again, Kiwi. So again, with the Marlowe tilt, we just got the spectator's card on the second from the top. All right, we just got the spectator's card for the second from the top. Are you going to be raiding Area 51? Am I? I am not going to be raiding Area 51. So now I just do a double lift at this point, because right now the card is second from the top. And again, you can watch earlier in the stream when we covered double lifts. But essentially, we just flip over 2 cards as if it was one, and there it is. Now it looks like we just moved the card from the top to the top of the deck. And if you wanted to be like, look, it's not on the top, you could, because this is the actual top card right here, right? So all you do is now say, okay, now we're going to do the magic trick. And it looks like this. Ta-da! There it is, now on the top of the deck. Now, here's what's cool about this. With the card as the second from the top, you can do the effect that I did earlier. You can do the effect that I did earlier, which was this. You tell them, okay, look, I'm going to slide your card out. Now listen, folks, the card I just slid out is not their card. This is the top card. Their card is the second from the top. Remember that. Their card is the second from the top. Okay, so when I say I'm sliding out your card, you know that that right there is not their card. This right here is their card. So you say, look, we'll take all the rest of the cards, and you take almost all of the cards. You take the vast majority of the cards, like 80% of the cards right now, and put them on top of their card. Now, what did I just do? I moved their card to the top right here, right? Hopefully you guys are tracking. And then you say, before you slide that in, what I said earlier and what I like to do is I say, in fact, let me show you the trick with fewer cards. And now I take off like 80% of these cards. And I move them to the table. Or I tell them, here, you want to hold on to those? That's even better, folks. If you tell them to hold on to these cards, they're not going to mess with them. They're paying attention to what's going on over here. They think their card is over here in your left hand. You hand them these cards. You say, yeah, hold on to those cards for me, please. And then you say, with fewer cards, I'm going to slide your card in just like this and perform the trick. And then you show that their card is nowhere to be seen. Their card is nowhere to be seen, right? And then you say, oh, that's right. When I do the move, I'm moving the card from the middle of the deck to the top of the deck, which is actually in your hands. And then they flip over the top card themselves to reveal that you just magically transported the card from your hand to their hand. Ta-da! It's pretty awesome. One of my it's definitely one of my closer effects in the ambitious card routine. It's one of my favorite closer effects in the ambitious card routine. Now, obviously, I was doing one or two other controls earlier that I didn't show you, and that was on purpose. But you can certainly do the Marlowe tilt with a double lift and easily make it look like you can control a card to the top of the deck. That's not hard. Or you can do that thing where I was showing you, where you put it legitimately in the middle of the deck and push it on one side and get a break underneath their or on top of their card, and then cut to their card. That you can always do as well. Now when I say the number of controls is almost limitless, I mean, people come up with new ways to control cards to the top of the deck, the bottom of the deck, the middle of the deck, to a specific packet of cards all the time. There are like 1,000 or at least tens and tens of different controls that I will never touch because either my hands are too small to do them, I'm not good at sleight of hand, I don't have the practice time, whatever the case. There are numerous different effects that I haven't learned. But some of these ones I have learned, obviously, and some of them I can show you guys. So, again, what that looked like was you get the Marlowe tilt going. Okay, now you can hand them their card, tell them to inspect it if you want to get this ready. All you need to do is be talking to them and make sure that they're not paying too much attention to what you're doing with your hands. Okay? And you have it just like this, ready to go. And you go, okay, here we go. You take their card. You poke some cards in the middle of the deck to make it look like you're about to put their card in the middle of the deck. and then you put it inside of the gap, just like this. Slide it in nice like that, right? Square up the cards, and then you say, look, it's not on the top of the deck yet, but when I do the magic trick, it moves to the top. That was a double lift right there. You flip both cards back down. You say, look, I'm going to slide your card out, just like that. Your card is slid out. I'm going to take all of these other cards, put them on top of your card. In fact, you know what? We're going to take all these cards and we're going to put them over here or here. You want to hold on to those cards for me? Thank you. And now look, with fewer cards right here, I'm going to slide your card in and do the magic trick. And when I do it, it always moves the cards to the top of the deck, which is actually in your hands. And there you go. So, literally in essentially one basic move, you just perform two really cool effects, one of which happens in the spectator's hands, which is always, always, always nice. Something else you can do with a double lift that is one of my favorite effects, and I'm going to look for a specific card and see if I can find it. There we go. There's one. Let me see if I can find another one. Hang on. Hang on a sec. And what I'm looking for are cards that are bent. And you'll see why here in a hot minute, because I'm about to bend some cards. Now, I know that I said at the very beginning of this stream that I like these cards because they bend back very well, but that doesn't mean I have to bend more than the same cards I've already bent multiple times. So let's say, for kicks and giggles, that the spectator's card was one of these two cards. We'll say it was the 9 of diamonds. Okay, we'll say it was the 9 of diamonds. All right, and here's what we're gonna do. We're going to get it as the second from the top card, or actually, yeah, yeah. That all right. I'm trying to think of how I want to do this for you guys. So, a multitude of ways that you can get into this move, but you can do the Marlowe tilt if you want. Right, get into a position where it's the second card from the top. You do the trick. You show them that their card moved to the top of the deck, but this is in fact the second from the top. Remember how the Marlowe tilt works? I just did a double lift, right? So you've got their card as the second from the top. Two cards are flipped over right now. They think it's only one card, okay? And here's what you do. You take their card, or you take the two cards as one. You slide them out ever so slightly, and then you take them and you bend them. From them to you, from the spectator to you is the direction that you want to bend the cards. The reason you don't want to bend the cards this way is because there's a chance they're going to see that there's two cards. You want to bend the cards from them to you because you can cover up most of that with your hand, so they can't see anything that's going on. So if the cards split just a little bit, that's not that big of a deal. And what you do is you bend the cards. Both cards. The spectator's card is the second from the top, and the throwaway card. You bend the cards so that there's a nice, strong bend, a very strong fold in the cards. And then you very decently quickly put them square face down on the deck. Okay? And then just like this, you don't show them the bend yet. What you do is you take half the cards off and then slide the fake card, the card that's not theirs, remember theirs is the second from the top, off into your other hand. And then you show them, look, it's the only card bent like that in the entire deck, and the whole time you're holding this card down. You're holding it down so they can't see that their card is also bent over here. You say, look, this card is bent, it's the only card like it the entire deck, and then what you do is you very squarely, fairly, show them that you're going to put all the other cards on the top of the deck, just like on the top of their card. Right? They think their card is bent in the middle of the deck right now. And then what you do is you take your thumb. It's a really cool effect. You take your thumb and your middle finger on either side, holding that bend down. You are holding the bend down right now. And then all you're going to do is at the count of 3, you go 1, 2, 3, and you let go of the bend. And it looks like their card just jumped from the middle of the deck to the top. And then you reveal their card. Really, really solid, great effect with great reactions. A lot of fun. Super easy. As long as you can do a double lift, then you can pull this off. As long as you can do a double lift, then you can pull this off. Again, I won't go into super details there, but really easy to pull off. The only caveat to it is, of course, making sure that when you're folding the cards that you're not revealing that you're folding 2 cards. And then when you split off the 1 card, you want to make sure... Here, let me grab it again. When you split off the 1 card, you want to make sure that you don't reveal their card is still in this hand bent also. And then when you put these on top, you want to be very careful to hold that fold down so that it doesn't pop up and they can't see that their card is that it's popped up, right? Right. So you want to hold that fold down, and then you can have them count. You can count whatever 1, 2, 3, and there it is. It popped up. Yeah. Questions, comments, concerns? Anybody? All right. So these cards are getting handled significantly. I need to find I need to get a new deck soon. Like I keep meaning to order more. Meaning to order more cards. Oh man. Okay. So, hang on a sec. All right, resetting the latency there. Okay, so we're going to change gears here. It is, well, it's almost 6:30. It's been what, almost, yeah, an hour 40 minutes, because I did start the stream a little bit late today. So this is the first Magic Monday that I've done, right? So I'm still trying to figure out how I want to do this. Are you a magic genie? And if yes, can I get 3 wishes? Yeah, no. No, I am not. So so we did the rubber band trick. We did the color routine, or the color change, right? Remember that thing, right? I showed you the key card trick. I showed you a basic double lift and an easy way to get into double lift, just showing that you're a noob at Magic, right? So the double lift, the key card routine, as well as a few control, well, a control or 2, right? A couple ways to do a control where you control a card from the middle to the top. And yeah, so a little bit of how you can start your first ambitious card routine. Sorry, I hear the dog. I'm wondering if the dog needs to go outside. The dog might have to go outside. Ember, come here. Hang on just a second, guys. Has the doggo pooped on the carpet? At the present moment, no, and I don't think he's going to poop, but he might pee. And I say that because he pooped earlier outside. Hang on, be right back, guys. Hey, Ion. Sorry, I gotta check on the dog. Ugh. Hi, puppy. Come in and bring me a bag of cards. There we go. I had to get my puppers back. I think he's wanting a toy or something, and I didn't bring any toys into the basement with me, unfortunately. Oh man. Okay. So yeah, he's don't eat my blanket, Ember. Don't eat my blanket. That's okay. He can eat it a little bit. It's old. Um, all right, so we're going to change gears here to here. Okay. So, if you guys aren't familiar with the Art of Magic website, well, first of all, this right here used to be the Art of Magic website, but as of last year, literally like October 26th of last year, you can see there, Art of Magic is now part of Vanishing Ink Magic. So this, and what's funny about that is Art of Magic used to be dananddave.com. And dananddave.com is where I got a lot of some of my other tricks. I really hope he doesn't destroy this blanket. So there are basically two magic websites that I get a lot of my tricks from, just FYI. One of them used to be called dananddave.com, then it was artofmagic.com, and now it is vanishinginkmagic.com. Because Art of Magic, I guess, was bought by these guys. So this is one of the places that I get a lot of my tricks. And then the other one is Illusionist. Illusionist. The word illusionist is usually spelled starting with an I. If you start the word illusionist with an E, illusionist.com is where I get a lot of my other tricks. So what we're going to do is we're going to bounce back and forth. We're starting the second segment, by the way, now. We're starting the second segment. So for the next hour to hour and a half, we're going to be looking at some other tricks on the internet. And I'm going to speculate maybe a little bit of how I think those tricks are done. Some of these tricks I know how they're done, and if I do, then I may or may not reveal them. If I don't know how they're done, then I have no problem speculating because I legitimately have no idea if that's the way the trick is done. Maybe that's how I would do the trick, but yeah. All right. So, first things first, I saw that there's this YouTube channel called A Million Card Tricks. Doggo equals Thanos. Doggo bites equals snap. Carpet equals half the population. No, it's my blanket. He's trying to tear it, but I don't foresee that happening anytime right now. So if he starts tearing it, he can tear it a little bit. I'll give him permission, but yeah. So for the second segment here, starting off, we're going to take a look at some of these performances. We're going to take a look at some of these performances on A Million Magic Tricks. So let me hit play here.
It's not juggling. This is called misdirection.
All right. So let's take a look here. A million card tricks. 3-card Monty. So, by the way, 3-card Monty is a very... What if he eats it? He'll be fine. 3-card Monty, by the way, guys, is also similarly called Follow the Queen. It is a shell game. It's typically a gambling game designed to mess people up, or mess people, like, in the head. Like, they think they know what's going on until they don't. There is a card trick called 2-card Monty, which I actually do believe that I have a tutorial for, if I'm not mistaken, on our YouTube channel, the RND. Again, don't quote me on that. It's been a while since I've done magic tricks for the RND. I can show you guys 2-card Monty. Or you can look up 2-card Monty on YouTube. It's, but I mean, I might as well just show you guys 2-card Monty. But let's check out this 3-card Monty trick here, here now. This is just the performance, by the way. This is not a tutorial. Oops. Okay. So follow the queen. There's the queen, and he's saying, good job, you followed it nicely. Okay, so now let's do 3 cards. Ooh. That was interesting. Okay, so he's putting the box on the queen now, obviously. Okay, I don't know what he did there. That looked a little suspicious, though. Why would he take the card off the camera? Okay. So, when he moved the card off the camera, I feel like that was kind of obvious that he switched it with the blank card. So that feels a little quirky. I feel like that performance needs a little bit of work on. Oh, come on. Dang it.
This is
Go
called
back.
misdirection.
Listen up. The soap you shower with?
Okay, we're gonna ignore ads right now. I definitely feel like, now I don't know how that 3-card Monty performance was done. I know how other 3-card Monty performances have been done. But that particular one, I feel like it's kind of obvious. Well, I don't know if it's obvious, but to the average Magic person, it might be that one of the cards was a double-faced card, or at least had a sticky back. So, like one of the 2 4 of clubs and the queen were like stuck backs, and then maybe he had a second queen, and he was just manipulating them in such a way that it was very difficult for you to tell where he was moving them. It was a little bit obvious. I don't know if obvious is the right word, but it was a little bit telling at one point, or a couple points actually, in the performance. Just because, here, let's get through this ad. It was at one point in the performance, he did, when he flipped the cards, it was like right over here. Right here. Look at that. Look. I'll go back. Look. The queen is face up. And then he flips his right hand, and the queen is still face up. Queen is face up with the 4 of clubs face up. And look, the queen is still face up. And it's now the undercard. See, now this is what the trouble is with performances that you do on video. Because you can literally go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth on a video and dissect a trick. Just checking on the pup. So, literally, so that 4 of clubs right there is a double back with a queen. The back side of that 4 of clubs is a queen. When he flips his hand over, hang on. I'll show you guys what I mean. So we've got a 4 of clubs. I'll use the same kind of cards so that so you guys can see what we're talking about here. 4 of clubs, and what is that? Queen of diamonds. Okay. So, he's currently got him like this, right? So when he flips them, okay? He flips them, and this card right here wound up being, it's kind of hard to explain. So let me find another 4, and I think it'll be easier to explain. I don't have 2 4 of clubs on me, but let me just find the other 4, so the 4 of spades, and I'll show you guys. It'll be easier to explain that way. Oops. Go. Okay. So, here's what I believe is the thing here. Okay? Hey. Dylan. Go ahead. Lay down. Lay down. Lay down. Hey. Sorry, puppy. Puppy problems. Puppy problems. All right. So here's what I believe he's doing here. So he's got the cards like this, right? One of the cards, the queen, is a double back with another 4. Like this. Okay? Okay, now they're sticky backs, so like they're double backed. One side is a 4, the other side is the queen. Okay? And he's got them currently like this. Okay? So here's what he does. When he flips them, he slides like this. More or less. Wait, do I have that right? They both might actually be double backs. In that case. Oh no, I had the double back wrong. Maybe they're double back. Maybe I'm doing it slightly wrong. It's definitely a double back, and he's definitely switching them. We just gotta think. Is it double queen sides? It must be double queen sides. Oh no. Yeah, they're both double backs. Or this one is. Yeah. Hang on. We're dissecting this. We're gonna get there. Hang on. Again, I don't have duplicate cards here, but we're gonna find the other red queen. We'll get there. Give me a hot minute. Actually, look at this. So there's something called the oh shoot, what is it? The something shift. There's something called the blah shift. I can't remember exactly what it is. What it's called. It's messing with me. But watch. Right now, the queen is the undercard closest to the inside of his palm. Okay? The queen is the undercard closest to the inside of his palm, and it's the card facing us right now. The 4 is behind it. Okay? Now watch what happens when he flips it. The queen is still the card closest to him, but now the 4 is suddenly the card that was on top. I don't know if you guys caught that or not. We're gonna try that again. We're gonna do that again. Ready? The 4, when he flips this, the 4 should be the card closest to us, but now suddenly the 4 is farthest away. You see that? So this queen right here has a 4 on the other side, most likely. Yep, and that's why he didn't flip it again. So that's a 4. That's a queen. Are you Gordon Ramsay? No, but Chris Ramsay does magic. So here we go. I'm tracking a little bit better now. Tracking a little bit better-ish. So that queen we have a double back over here. There we go. I think I've got that right now. Yep. So, if we move back to here again, I've broken my controller. 10 out of 10. Don't recommend. Yeah, I don't recommend that either. So he started off like this, right? The 4 was farther away from me. I mean, and it was technically this 4, right? And he has a queen. And then when he flips the cards, he does this, essentially. There's something in Magic where the effect is to do this, is to literally turn. And do it fast enough while you're turning your hand. When you turn your hand, if you shift at the same time, the turning of your hand covers the fact that you just shifted the cards' positions. See that? You don't even catch that I'm switching the cards. Amber, come here. I think my dog might have to go potty. Amber. All right, so anyway, so here's what this guy was doing. He essentially did this. When he flipped his card over, he switched them, and this was a double back card, right? And he put the queen down, right? And then this one he kept like this, showing us that he still had the queen in his hand, so that later on, this card. So that later on, this card right here is actually the queen. Even though it looks like he has a queen there, this is the double back one. See? That was definitely, that's the double back, that has the queen on it. That was actually kind of obvious now that we know. Because look, when he flips this queen over, watch what's on the other side. It's the 4. He flips that queen, bam, that was the 4. It's hard to catch, but it's there. And that's why they're both 4s, because that house is also a queen, and this was the only real single-sided queen. Yep. All right, we got it. Moving on. Super Bowl 50 special card trick. You know what? Let's move over here and take a look at some of these. I think Illusionist has some new tricks. So let's take a look at magic tricks. Can we sort by category top sellers? Okay, we can keep it as top sellers. I wanted to sort it by new ones, actually. See top trending? Yeah, let's see top trending. Console, arcane. So these are the arcane playing cards, by the way, that I have. My deck clip is based on. Are these guys right here? The arcane playing cards are super popular. Marbles playing cards, Red Knights playing cards. Okay, so based on your recent category, I want. What is this? Is actually using his All right, hang on, folks. My puppers really I think he needs to go outside. So bear with me, folks. I'm gonna have to BRB. If you gotta go, you gotta go. I understand. I really don't like heading the BRB screen, but we're gonna have to let the dog out. Okay, so my wife heard him barking, and she came down. So yeah, I think he actually woke her up. My bad. I didn't tend to him fast enough. So ingenious electronic device. Let's see what this is.
Interesting thing was, look at the numbers that I chose on this winning ticket. A 3, a 7, a 13, 21, 37, and 49.
What?
These are all the 6 numbers you named, weren't
That's
they?
the number! Yeah! That's the number that you have!
I don't understand what I'm seeing. Hi, I'm Mark Lemon, and this is Console. This is a system that enables you to make impossible predictions in real time without an assistant. Can you see the word that I'd spelt on the refrigerator?
Oh my fucking god, I can't believe it. Oh mate, it was a fucking, I can't believe that. Oh my god. How the fuck you did that, mate?
Console works with your smartphone to create a photographic prediction that will instantly appear in your actual camera roll. But if you really want to mess them up, you can produce a printed physical photograph from your pocket and reveal it wherever you like.
That's interesting.
No way! No way! No way! No
That's it.
way!
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
No.
No way!
Yeah.
No way! Are you kidding?
She needs a
No
bigger
way.
vocabulary, yo.
How you did it?
way.
This really is a breakthrough system because now you can perform the kind of miracles and effects that previously required an entire team to pull off.
You're laughing, I'm crying.
I guess she was right. She would get it one day. It's okay. Okay. This is not a quick throwaway effect. This is an absolute reputation maker.
This looks really interesting.
With the bedside table routine, you can predict a freely thought of word at a freely selected time. Then there's the selfie routine where there'll be a picture of you holding a notepad with a predicted word on it. And then there's my current favourite, the lottery prediction. It's hands-off prediction of freely named lottery numbers. And then there's the restaurant prediction where your audience will come up with the details of a completely imagined date. You'll get the Spider-Man routine where a freely thought of word is predicted in the magnetic letters on a refrigerator. If you have a look at that photograph, you'll see it's a photograph of a reservation.
No way! That's crazy. How do you know that? Wow. I'm shocked.
The console device also enables you to make predictions on your spectator's smartphone. In addition to the routines on the console app, you'll be able to use the console device to do predictions, make notes, Google searches, and once the device is switched on, you're ready to perform at a moment's notice. Fine, there's the photograph of my bedside table with the number 1988 on there. But the strangest thing is, what was the date that you said?
24th of September.
Because if you look at this, the time that I took it this morning when I got up was 9:24.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god!
I really hope there would be some significance with this, but maybe you better keep hold of that, Donna.
Oh my god!
Interesting. Well, that looks fun. That looks super fun. So I've gotten a few over the years. I've gotten a few mentalism type tricks, and this is definitely one of them because this is a prediction type of trick. And what that essentially means, that doesn't necessarily mean that you are predicting something that's going to happen necessarily. What this is saying is you have an image in your phone and or in your pocket printed that reveals exactly what the spectator essentially just either told you or was thinking. Most likely just told you, but this is actually a device apparently that, I mean, the device and the reveal, the tutorial and whatnot is $100, so $99. So these are the types of tricks that that obviously I would not be revealing on stream. If I was ever to get consoled by Mark Lemon, I would not be revealing it, but I might show you guys some performance stuff. So super cool though, super cool. Let's take a look down here. Any other new releases? FU2 by Lloyd Barnes. I'm looking for card tricks. Looks like this one is a card trick. Biddleless. That's definitely going to be a card trick, right? The one where they mix and unmix, the same happens again, but then they vanish. That's a nice name. That's a fun name. That looks like card trick as well. A lot of these are card tricks and then actual cards. Let's take a look at this one, just because of the name. By Durant Clark. The one where they mix and unmix, the same happens again, but they vanish. Come on, hit
What's
play.
wrong with that guy's f***ed up teeth? He has only one fang. What? Oh, we're not going to read mean tweets? Oh, okay. Without a doubt, the most boring plot in Magic is oil and water. They mix, they unmix, they mix, they unmix, they mix, they unmix. Boring. Reactions are flat and it never seems to peak. So a few years ago, I structured the routine to be exactly what I was looking for. First, they're mixed face down in the spectator's hands and they unmix. Take a look, see how they are.
So before we go too much farther into this, what he's talking about is oil and water is a routine in Magic where let's see here. I don't perform oil and Magic. I'm familiar with the concepts, but off the top of my head, I have zero practice with oil and water. But essentially what you do is you intentionally mix the cards. So we have red cards in this hand and we have black cards in this hand. So what we would do is we would go like this, right? Where they are currently mixed. And then you do something where essentially they suddenly, and like, I don't know what it is, but they suddenly would unmix, right? So you'd have red in one hand and black in the other hand. Again, I'm not practiced at how this is done. I've seen multiple hows for oil and water. I'm not practiced at oil and water. But what he's saying is he's got a new version of oil and water that ends differently.
Then they're mixed face up and they unmix in the spectator's hands. This time we'll do it face up. Take a red and a black, and a red and a black, a red and a black, a red. We'll square these in super fade. Face up.
That's incredible.
Square these up. Square, 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 square. Okay, watch. Face up on camera. Square.
Okay, so that's all normal for oil and water. That's a
Then they're
normal
mixed
trick.
again, and the spectator is preconditioned to assume that they know what's about to happen. So when the cards vanish, oil and water reaches the crescendo that it deserves. Do you know why I have a lighter? Because if you hold these cards high and I heat them up, just tell everyone at home what happens to water when you heat it up.
Rises.
And
Boils.
And what?
Disappears, doesn't it?
It does disappear. Do you see what's about to happen?
I've got a feeling, yeah.
Show the camera what's left in your hand. Just 4 cards with all the water gone, and that's it. That is the one where they mix and then unmix. The same happens again, but then they vanish.
That's awesome.
Yeah. One in there. Do you know what happens when you heat water and it boils? It evaporates. Watch. Put them over and spread on the table. You're left with just the oil. That was all you. That was all you. That wasn't even me.
That's interesting. 2 methods taught.
If you're a Magic Stream member, you can learn this free with your membership, or you can buy the secret exclusively at illusionist.com.
Very nice. That sounds fun. That sounds super fun. Let's look at some of the reviews. It's impromptu, it's straightforward. You end clean. What's not to love? Great relaxing teaching, worth every cent. Never liked oil and water. And then I see this guy that also hates it, but at the same time he puts a video teaching version of it and a great one. Nice. So this sounds super fun. Sounds super fun. Okay, so let's go back to this 3-card Monty thing because I told you guys that I would teach you how to do 2-card Monty. I will teach you guys how to do 2-card Monty the next Magic stream. So for now, we'll leave it alone. Let's take a look. I did show you guys, or I did tell you guys I would also show you the Rubik's Cube trick. I think I want to wait to show you specifically the Rubik's Cube trick until next time when I have a little bit more practiced. Let's browse some new magic here. Where's card magic tricks? Now Illusionist is better for that. So let's go back. Let's look. We've got. Oh, we already did console. New releases. This is what I was looking for. All right, this looks like it is a card trick. All right, so this is an uncut performance, and it says there was parental advisory discretion advised. So let's take that into consideration here.
So good, so I want to show you something now. Now, I have a lucky card. I never leave my house without this card. It's in my back pocket. It's right here. I'm not going to show you the face of this card just yet. I'm going to place it underneath your phone, but it's going to be on view the whole time, so it cannot change. Now look, if I was to ask you to name a card right now, then you turn over that, and it's your card. You might go away thinking, oh, it's just the most commonly selected card that most people think of. The 7 of Hearts, 3 of Hearts, Queen of Hearts. Yeah, that's probably one of them. You thought of one of them, yes? It's the most commonly selected card that most people think of. So you might go away and think, oh, that wasn't random. It's how the human mind works. So we're going to make this random. On my phone, I have a list of 52 different playing cards, and I've numbered them 1 to 52 in my notes. One of you are going to name a number between 1 and 52, and whichever playing card is next to that, we're going to use it. So then it's random, right? So who wants to name a number between 1 and 52?
Let me name it. 42 is the answer to everything.
42. Are you sure?
42 is the answer
now look,
to
we're going to go on my
everything, he
notes. I'll lock my phone. Face ID, amazing. That's magic itself. So click on my notes there. Can you see commonly selected cards? You see they're all different, yes? Now if we go to number 42, which is the 4 of Hearts. If you would have named a number, what would yours have been?
32.
32. What card would have been at 32? King of Clubs. So it would have been a completely different card, right? The 4 of Hearts at 42. You understand how random this would have been if you would have chosen another number? This is crazy because my lucky card is actually the 4 of Hearts.
Is it?
And I placed it down there. That's my lucky card. But wait, do you think I'm chatting bullshit? Tell the truth.
I mean, it probably
a little
is,
bit.
It probably is 4 of Hearts if you say it is, but
you might think it's bullshit. And you know what? I've done this just for you. Because if that is the 4 of Hearts, this is a fucking miracle, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm 1 out of 50.
Turn it over. Have a look.
42. Is it 42? Is 42 a commonly chosen number then?
Turn it over. Have a look. 4 of Hearts. This is just for you.
Saw that coming.
I love that. I love that.
No, but look. Read the small print. Read the small print. Read the small print. Read it out loud. Read it out loud.
If a manufacturing defect is found in this deck that makes it unusable for normal gameplay and is returned before it has been extensively used, we'd be glad to replace it. Return the 4
Return the 4 of Clubs.
That's absolutely brilliant.
That's pretty funny. basically it looks like the card is an expletive card, right? Basically saying like, yeah, right. You're completely bullcrapping me. But then you read the fine print, and the fine print has the specific card that they were thinking of.
And the colours, there's red cards and black cards. The red cards are hearts and diamonds, and the black cards are clubs and spades. So what card do you feel is inside your hand? 8 of hearts. You just felt that. You went with feeling. Now, if you were to turn that card over, and that was the 8 of hearts, that'd be incredible, right? Now, all of what I said about going with your feelings, would you say that's bullshit?
Bullshit.
You would say it's bullshit. You don't?
Sometimes.
Okay, I'm going to tell you now that this isn't bullshit.
Okay.
It's not hard.
Well, do you know what? It is bullshit because it's just for you. I placed the card down in your hand. Would you believe me if I told you I knew you was going to say it's bullshit? You probably wouldn't, would you?
No.
Turn over the card. This card's just for him.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck, they're just for you.
Yeah, fuck
No, but wait a second. I'm only joking because look, read the small print on the card. You thought of the queen. What was your card? 8 of hearts. You felt, right? Read the small print. Read it out loud. Read it out loud. Read it out loud.
If a manufacturing defect is found in this deck that makes it unusable for normal gameplay and is returned before it has been extensively used, we'll be glad to replace it. Return the 8 of hearts to the address found on the box. That's what it is.
That's pretty fun. That's pretty fun. Nice. Nice. All right, y'all. I think we're at coming up on 2.5 hours now. I think interest might have dwindled, which is all good. Let me see here. Ooh, it's a light Monday. Ain't nobody's online right now. It is a light Monday. Nobody's on. Dang. All right. Well, folks, I think I'm going to end the stream here. We've had a lot of fun, though. Teaching you guys some new magic, showing you guys what I do in the way of magic. Now, remember, Magic Monday is going to be a first Monday of the month every month. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys for the first half of the streams, I'm going to show you guys what I've been doing recently in Magic. For the second half, we're going to look at what other people have been doing recently in Magic. So that's the idea with Magic Mondays. Instead of me doing regular YouTube videos going forward, we're going to start doing this. That said, there is some other Just Chatting type streams coming up soon. This particular Saturday, mark your calendars, guys. This particular Saturday, I'm doing a Young Living stream. I'm going to do a 101 class on essential oils. My wife will be making a guest appearance on the stream. Essential oil classes and Young Living product classes are going to continue happening. Streams are going to continue to happen probably once a month. Maybe more frequently, but probably just once a month. And probably after the first one, it'll just be me after that. But for this first one, it's going to be this Saturday, probably 10:30. That's what I'm leaning towards. 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock a.m., somewhere around that time frame. I'll let you guys know more details as the streams continue the rest of this week. But as always, guys, well, before I close, let me close with mentioning the Golden Acorn again. Hopefully you guys can be encouraged by this. It is from Aaron Hansen, who is quoted as saying, "And you ask, what if I fall? Oh, but my darling, what if you fly?" Aaron Hansen, she is quoted as saying this, essentially saying it is important to take risks. Whatever you're going through in life right now, whatever you're thinking about doing, if there's anything that you're thinking about doing and you're considering or you're hesitating because of the potential negative effects, consider strongly the potential positive effects. Weigh the pros and cons. And if the potential for greatness is there, then perhaps the risks are worth it. I encourage you to take necessary risks based on the end results. Hopefully that can encourage you guys this week as the Golden Acorn. But again, as always, guys, stay squirrely. Tomorrow we're resuming video game plays. We're probably hopping on the Arc server. I'm super excited about that. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for swinging by, guys, and thank you for the follows and the bits. You guys are awesome.